In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Keeping to the rope of Allah. 1. Muhammad bin Abdullah bin al-Muammar at-Tabrani, who was a freed slave of Yazid bin Muawiyah and was one of the opponents of Ahlul Bayt. Narrated in Tabriya in 333a. From his father from Ali bin Hashim and al-Husayn bin As-Sakan, together from Abdurrazak bin Hammam from his father from Mina, the freed slave of Abdurrahman bin Auf, that Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari had said, once, some people of Yemen came to Medina. The Prophet said, they come to you gently. When they came to the Prophet, he said, they are people of gentle hearts and deep-rooted faith. From among them there will be al-Mansur. He will come with 70,000 soldiers. He will support my descendant and my guardian's descendant. The sheaths of their swords are from musk. They said, O Messenger of Allah, who is your guardian? The Prophet said, it is he, whom Allah has ordered you to keep to when he has said, and hold fast by the covenant rope of Allah altogether and be not disunited. They said, O Messenger of Allah, will you declare to us what this rope is? He said, it is the saying of Allah, save, where they grasp, a rope from Allah and a rope from men. The rope from Allah is his book, and the rope from people is my guardian. They asked, O Messenger of Allah, who is your guardian? He said, it is he about whom Allah has revealed, lest a soul should say, O woe to me! For what I fell short of my duty to Allah. They asked, O Messenger of Allah, what is this duty to Allah? He said, it is what Allah has said about, and the day when the unjust one shall bite his hands, saying, Oh, would that I had taken away with the messenger, it is my guardian, and the way that leads to me. 32. They said, O Messenger of Allah, by him, who has sent you with the truth, declare him to us. We are so eager to know who he is. He said, it is he, whom Allah has made as a sign for the true believers. If you look at him with a look of him who has a heart, or gives ear with full intelligence, you will know that he is my guardian, as you have known that I am your prophet. Go through the rows and stare at the faces, then see towards whom your hearts incline. It will be him, because Allah has said, therefore make the hearts of some people yearn towards them. It means towards him and his progeny. Then Abu Amir al-Ashri, Abu Ghurra al-Khawlani, Ghabian, Uthman bin Qais, Arna ad-Dosi and Lahik bin Alka from among their tribes went through the rows, stared at the faces and held the hand of the bald, pot-bellied man and said, O Messenger of Allah, towards this man our hearts yearned. The Prophet said, you are the elite of Allah, where you recognized the Prophet's guardian before you have been told about him. How did you know that he was him? They began crying and said, O Messenger of Allah, we looked at the people but our hearts did not incline to any of them. When we saw this man our hearts trembled, and then our souls felt assured, our eyes shed tears and our chests became pleased as if he was our father and we were his children. The Prophet recited, but none knows its interpretation except Allah, and those who are firmly rooted in knowledge. You are near them in your good position, and you are far away from hell. These men remained loyal until they fought with Imam Ali in the battles of Al-Jamal, the Camel, and Siffin, in which they were martyred. May Allah have mercy upon them. The Prophet had brought them good news to be in paradise, and had predicted that they would have been martyred with Imam Ali. 2. Muhammad bin Hammam bin Suhail narrated from Abu Abdullah Jafar bin Muhammad al-Hasni from Abu Isht Ibrahim bin Isht al-Khaybari. 9. From Muhammad bin Yazid bin Abdurrahman at-Taymi from al-Hasan bin al-Husayn al-Ansari from Muhammad bin al-Husayn al-Ansari from his father from his grandfather that Ali bin al-Husayn, Imam as-Sajjad, had said, one day the Prophet was sitting with his companions in the mosque. He said, a man will come to you from this gate. He will be one of the people of paradise. He asks about what concerns him. 33. Then a tall man looking like the people of Mudhar came in. He advanced, greeted the Prophet and sat down. He said, O Messenger of Allah, I have heard Allah saying in His book, and hold fast by the covenant rope of Allah altogether and be not disunited. Then what is this rope that Allah has ordered us to keep to and not to separate from? The Prophet pondered long and then raised his head and pointed with his hand to Ali bin Abu Talib saying, this is the rope of Allah. He who keeps to him will be saved in his life and will not be deviant in his afterlife. The man jumped and embraced Imam Ali. He said, I have kept to the rope of Allah and the rope of His Messenger. Then he left. A man from among the people got up and said, O Messenger of Allah, do I follow after him and ask him to pray Allah to forgive me? The Prophet said, then you find him pleased. He followed him and asked him to pray Allah for him. He said to him, did you understand what the Prophet said to me and what I said to him? He said, yes, I did. He said, if you keep to that rope, then Allah will forgive you, otherwise He will not forgive you. If the Prophet had not declared for us the rope of Allah, that He had ordered us in His book to keep to and not to separate from, then the opponents would have interpreted it according to their fancies and turned it away to other than what Allah and His Messenger had meant. But the Prophet had said in his speech he made in the mosque of Al-Khaif during the last Hajj, farewell Hajj, I shall precede you to paradise, and you will come to me at the pond, whose width is as between Busra and Sana. It has cups as much as the stars of the sky. I have left to you two weighty things, the great one is the Quran and the minor one is my family. They both are the rope of Allah. It is extended between you and Almighty Allah. If you keep to it, you will never go astray at all. One of its ends is in the hand of Allah, and the other is in your hands. It has this addition according to another tradition. The Most Kind has told me that they will not separate until they come to me at the pond of paradise, together like these two forefingers. He gathered his two fingers.